Hey, it's Daryl again, and today I'm doing a review of this red Mitsubishi Minicab van. It's an EV van with a 16 kilowatt hour battery, which means that it can probably drive about, I don't know, 90 kilometers around town, maybe 75, 80 kilometers on the highway. You might get 100 kilometers out of it. And today when I turned it on after fully charging overnight, it said that I was going to get 110 kilometers. So we'll have a closer look at the van. This is the outside of the van. It's got a little tiny shield over the top of the driver's side window, which is quite good if you want the window down a little bit to get a bit of ventilation. The wheels are right on the corners. It has some quite good turning circle, so I'm just going to take a walk around the van like I did for the other Mitsubishi review I did. So this is the Mitsubishi Minicab EV van. It is in Japan Postal Service Red, I understand. So these ones were built for use for Japan Postal Service, so it's literally a Postal Service delivery van. It's got, a bit hard to see here, but below the door there's a charging port. So this one has a charter mode charging port on the left hand side, and it has a type 1 charging port on the right hand side under the driver's side door. It's got a lift up tailgate, and got lights and wheels and all the normal stuff that you expect on normal vehicles. So that's what the van looks like. It's a really little van. It's only about the same size as a, any relatively little car. You can see how the space of these car park lines here, and so it's quite small. It's very narrow. The driver and the passenger sit actually quite close together, and you can reach from one side of the van over to the other side if you're as tall as I am. I guess it's not too difficult. It has pretty narrow wheels. Mitsubishi logo on the front. Yeah, there's not a lot to say about that. It's really simple. I'll show you the inside in a moment. Now I'm just going to have a look at the rear wheels, because you can see some interesting stuff behind the wheels. So I do believe you can actually just see the motor right in there. Seems to be some air strapping and a few bits and pieces in there. Yeah, so there you go. It's a close-up look at that. We can go around the other side and take a look from the other side. So this is from the left-hand side of the van. I noticed that you could see all this stuff in here when I was putting some air in the tyres the other day, because they were looking a bit flat. It was kind of hard to determine. I mean, there is of course a label up the front determining the right pressure, but I put the air in the tyre as per the label, and they still looked kind of flat, so that was kind of a little bit weird to me. I think it's made so that you can inflate the tyres quite a lot. Yeah, it looks like it's made so that you can inflate the rear tyres quite a lot if you are carrying a bit of cargo, because there is quite a bit of cargo space in the back, so I'll show you that. So there we go, with the raised tailgate, there's kind of like a little bit of shrouded space under there. So I'll show you the inside. So it's got just a little bit of cargo space. It's I don't know, probably about 5 feet deep, or I don't know, 1.5 meters deep, something, maybe a bit deeper than 1.5 meters. It's actually kind of like reasonably spacious. It looks like you could fit a pallet in the back and a little bit of extra length at the back, and then you can see these little nets at the side. This is sort of like a delivery van. It's got little nets so that when you open the doors, if you've got parcels just sitting in the back, they won't slide and fall out the side of the van. So I'll show you that from the other side. There you go. See, you got these cargo nets stopping things from escaping. Oh, and there's where the tools are. I knew there were tools for the spare tyre. You can see that the van's been retrospectively painted. It was probably originally white. You've actually got some space under the cargo floor under there. I wonder if you can get a passenger version where you might use this as a footwell, so it's sort of effectively got a false floor. and it just looks like it's bolted in there. The contours are all interesting. Oh, I see, and because the tyres are so small, the tyres don't actually encroach into the cargo area, which is probably quite important for some kinds of vehicles. And back here there is a kind of a fold-up cargo flap. You can delatch it from the other side. It has a gas strut there, and I guess that means you can, if you have that open from the inside, you can post things from the front into the back. Maybe if you're going out and picking up courier packages, you can jump in the van holding the package and then drop it into the back of the van. I guess that's how that could possibly work. And of course it's got doors on both sides, so I'll show the outside too. There you are, with this side slide door open there. You can see there, there's some bit of equipment under there. I don't know what that is. Oh, I'm going to say it's electrical things. I don't think you'd want to take out the false floor because that will expose some of this electrical wiring, which I could not see from the other side. Oh, and over there we've got the spare tyre. And now the treat just continues. I'm going to show you some of the awesomeness up the front. Okay, I'm sitting on the passenger side because this is right-hand drive because we're in New Zealand. Same as in Japan. There you can see the driver's side steering wheel there, and you have the what do you call it? Gear selector, gear shifter in the center. There's a holder there where you can put your keys or wallet or stuff, and you have these very manual kind of air conditioning and heating controls. And in the dash you've got this super old-fashioned stereo. I haven't seen a stereo this old-fashioned since the 1980s type vehicle, where there's actually a speaker in the stereo. So there's no actual speakers installed in the vehicle as far as I can tell. There's just the speaker in the front of the stereo, and you can listen to the radio on that. It has AM and FM. I don't think it even has Bluetooth. And someone who needs, maybe I can translate that later. But I do kind of think that this Japanese symbology is doors. But if we flick this, how does this work? Open that up, you can push that open, and you can see out the back of the van, which is interesting. So I think that's just so you can post parcels from the front into the back of the van. Maybe I'll do a translation of that. Now another fun thing is we have cup holders. That's good, and there's a cup holder over on the side, so they can fit a, you know, takeaway drink or something. And interestingly, the vent blows straight onto the cup holder. I wonder if that means that if you put the air conditioning on, you can keep your drink cold. Well, it looks like something there opens. I don't want to pull that apart. And oh yeah, we've got there's some controls down under here. There's the headlight tilt adjustment and the seat heater and coin holder. And in the front there's a little plug, which I guess is going to be the I'm going to say that's probably where a cigarette lighter would normally be, and there's something closed over here. But I guess this was made for Japan Postal Service, so it's actually customized without an ashtray. That's going to be my guess what goes there. And a seat heater here, and then there's is that traction control, and forward pedestrian vehicle warning, and your emergency light flashes. Now I was trying to turn the heated seat on the other day, but I didn't realize there's heated seats. There's two heated switches, so this I think is actually for the passenger's heated seat, and I didn't notice the switch for the heated seat on my side, so that was sad. Oh yes, and then awesomely we have hand-o-matic window winders, and you think, oh, that's really inconvenient, but it's actually really easy to reach to the other side of the van, because the van's so tiny you can wind the window up and down just like in the olden days. And got airbag warning there, be careful of putting a child seat in. And is there anything behind here? Oh, we've got lights, got a light, just can turn the light on and off up there. And yeah, that's about it. So that's the van. Now, I guess I think I should go for a drive and show you what it's like to drive. It's really nice and quiet, and carrying nothing in it, the van seems to have an alright amount of power while you're driving. So I'll see if I can prop the camera up somewhere and do some driving around video. Might work. Yeah, I think I can. Okay, so I'm just going to go through the startup sequence. So I've got the key in already. Oh yeah, key. It uses a normal old-fashioned key. There's one key with buttons for the lock and unlock, and there's just a plain key which you can put in the door to open the door. And that reminds me that I haven't closed the back of the van up, so I'll go and do that. There's a light to indicate that there's a door open. Alright, and I'm back in, and got the seat out. So to turn it on, you just turn it on a couple of notches, and then, like as if you're driving a petrol car, you actually have to twist it one more notch. And that little chime was just to indicate that all the systems were ready. Got a normal handbrake in the center, put that down, and then select gear. Just going to go and drive. And there's the indicator. Just going to drive around the car park a tiny bit. So lighting's going to drastically change as we drive around because summer. Somebody just driving in, getting in the way and driving over the curb in a really interesting way. Here, those indicators. There's a lot of judder bars around here, which the van seems to go over quite happily. I'm just going to drive around because in my local neighbourhood they just installed some new DC fast chargers, so I'm just going to go around and check those out. I don't think they're up and running yet. They are not being indicated on the charging network. Can you hear all these little hums and sounds the van makes? Or judder bars, or speed bumps, depending on where you are. And it's public holiday here in New Zealand today. It's Labour weekend. So the van has a few different drive modes. It has park, reverse, neutral drive, eco and B. So B is the extra regenerative mode, which a lot of electric cars have, and eco just seems to turn down the excitement on the accelerator. Driving about 30 kilometers, 35 kilometers per hour. Seems to be a lot of cars in the supermarket car park. I love those indicator chimes. Fast charger, so I'm just going to go park in the fast charger space. I won't be able to use it because the power is not on to them yet. There's some of the fast chargers, so I'm gonna try and see if I can. Oh no, I think I'm probably in the right place. Oh, that's the reversing tone.